Hey Rockets! Welcome to No Clue, No Stress, a series of short videos where experts of cycling industry explain things in a very simple way. So no more rocket science. My name is Heidi Kanzler and today's topic is road bike frames. Ever wonder which bike frame is right for you? Well, I'll soon be joined by Mr. Moorman of Van Nicholas bikes, who will explain to me how to choose the right bike frame. For those who don't know, Van Nicholas Bikes is a Dutch company specialized in titanium frames and making customized bikes. So, hello, Mr. Ralph. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
So let's start with the first question. I'm new to cycling, or I don't really care about bikes or bike frames. I go to a store and I see there a really nice men's bike and I see there woman-specific bikes. Is it important to choose as a woman-specific bike? What's the difference actually?
Yeah, it can be because the woman bikes are mainly almost similar to a gents bike. The only difference is that the anatomy of the lady is a little bit that it has a shorter position, so the reeds will be a little bit shorter, and also because of the shorter upper body of the woman, also the stack is a little bit higher. So it sits a little bit more comfort as a man on his bike, but on a woman's bike, it's a little bit more perfect for that one. Normally, the sizes will start with 50, 52 centimeters, and lady-specific bikes already start with 45 or 48. And there is the main advantage, because on that size, there were not many bike manufacturers who make these kind of sizes. And that's the main important thing on lady-specific.
But can you choose a men's bike if you really like it?
Yeah, that's for 100% sure. You can easily maintain it with a shorter stem or with some more spacers. Although the front fork length is mostly cutted, so you cannot be a little bit higher on that one. But you have also some stems with some race in it, so you can easily adjust it. But also the anatomy of a lady sometimes has the same as a man. So in that case, they really don't need a lady-specific frame. So
next thing is about choosing racing frames, and there are these kind of endurance frames. What's the difference? How am I going to feel on a race bike, and how I'm going to feel on an endurance bike? What's going to be the difference when I'm going to be driving my bike?
Normally the road bikes were mainly the same. They were really high-end racing bikes, road bikes on the road, but really specific like the pros are riding. So very aggressive, less comfort. And the endurance bikes are what I already explained on the woman-specific bikes is also an endurance bike, is that the head tube is mostly a little bit higher. So you sit a little bit more upright, so you have a little bit more upright position. And the wheelbase is mostly a little bit longer. First, it needs to be longer because to adapt the wider tires as well. But a longer wheelbase gives you also a little bit more comfortable ride. It goes easily straight on the road and not so nervous on riding. So that's really the advantage now, endurance bikes for riders, because it feels you more safely on the bike, feels more comfort on the bike. So when you are a trained rider, I think a road bike will suit you very good. But if you starting bike and you go for longer rides, I think an endurance bike is the right decision to go for.
So actually you can also, it doesn't mean that if you don't buy a race bike, you won't be able to attend races.
When you have an endurance bike, you can do races as well. Although when you are really going into races and you want to have more success in your races, I think the better is to go for a road bike.
But even if you're not a pro?
Yeah, I think so. I think the best is then, because then you want a little bit more aerodynamics. You want a little bit more aggressive when you are going to the corners. So I think an endurance bike is not the bike for racing. Maybe when you're riding a Paris-Roubaix, for example.
But
or what I said in between. You have some bike manufacturers who have some bikes in between. That's mostly called comfort races, and that could be that you adapt both of them as well.
Is it really, you know, would it be like you wouldn't be able to race if you had an endurance bike?
You can do a lot on your bike, on your position of your bike, the seat post, your saddle, your stem, your handlebar. You have different drops on handlebars, so you can adapt it to your own, what you like to ride as well. Because what I explained, it's better to go for a road bike, but if somebody don't like the position of a road bike, but like races, then of course you can ride on an endurance bike as well, the races. I have made some lines of geometry of some bikes of us. Our Ventus bike, that's our road entry-level bike. And this is more really a road bike, what I really explained, a little bit more expressive, low in the front, so a little bit more racy and a little bit more agile as well in the corners. And for example, what I'm riding by myself, it's a comfort racer that's called the Skyron. And you see immediately what is changing. So it's changed a little bit the seat tube length, but also the head tube length. Although the wheelbase is not changing. The riding experience is only differs because of you're sitting a little bit more comfortable. You feel a little bit more in control. And now I want to show you how an endurance bike would look like. And you see immediately some changing. There's a little bit a shorter top tube. The connection is a little bit lower, so it gives you a little bit more flex here on your seat post. Higher stack, so it gives you a little bit more in comfort. And that's really the change of the endurance bikes. Our Road Tech, what we introduced 1.5 years ago, that's the red one. And you see the red one have some comparison between all of them, but mainly is of the longer wheelbase, to say, wider tires as well, but also here a higher head tube, same as the endurance bike is. And then the angle changing of the front fork on the red line, and that gives a more stable feeling of the ride, because the angle of the front fork gives a more lazy steering feeling.
So I think we basically explained, you know, how to go and choose your frame. So thank you so much for taking time and explaining this to us. It was really enjoying.
It's a little bit Dutch English, but okay. I hope they can they know what I explained, and hopefully that will help as well.
Thank you for watching. If you like the show, make sure you click subscribe. We have some other great content incoming, so make sure you don't miss it.